The cheapest gas at your station right now is sitting on the same island as regular, it costs less per gallon, and it is quietly cooking the engine in your shed. Not as a scare line, not as a theory. It is blended with 50% more ethanol than the fuel your mower was built to burn, and federal law says it is illegal to put it in there. Most people pump it anyway, because nobody ever told them what the number on the handle actually means. Here is what took me a while to piece together. This is not one bad station playing games with a label. This is a nationwide rollout. The blend is called E15, and it now sits at thousands of pumps across the country, often marked as Unleaded 88, often the lowest price on the sign. And the part that should bother you is this. The warning that is supposed to protect you is a small orange sticker that most people have never once stopped to read. By the end of this, you will know exactly which fuel is safe, which equipment it can wreck, and how to read a pump in 5 seconds so you never make the mistake. And I am going to show you the one protection move that the station, the manual, and even your warranty paperwork will not spell out for you. Stay with me, because that part changes everything. Before I start, for anyone who wants this in one place, everything on storage and fuel, plus every category sits in the No BS Buyer's Vault for $19.99. That's the last I'll mention it. It is there if you want it. Scan the QR code on screen or check the link in the description and pinned comment. Let's start with the trick hiding in plain sight. The fuel is sold as 88 octane, and your brain reads a bigger number as a better, more premium fuel. That is the entire illusion. 88 is not premium. The higher number is there to make a cheaper, higher ethanol blend look like an upgrade. Regular gas is 87 octane and holds up to 10% ethanol. This stuff holds up to 15. One extra splash of ethanol, one extra point of octane, and a price that undercuts everything else on the sign. But only about 1 in 5 people even know that 88 means more ethanol, not more performance. So most of the country is standing at the pump, reaching for the cheap handle, with no idea what is actually flowing into the can. And now the part the industry would rather you skim past. It is not just a bad idea to run this in your equipment. It is against federal law. The Environmental Protection Agency approved E15 only for cars built in 2001 and newer. Everything else is on the banned list, and I mean everything. Mowers, chainsaws, trimmers, blowers, generators, pressure washers, boats, motorcycles, anything with a small engine. There is an orange label on the pump that says it in plain English. It tells you to use it only in newer cars and not in boats or gasoline-powered equipment, because it may cause damage and is prohibited by federal law. That label is the only warning you will ever get, and more than half of the people surveyed said it is too small and too easy to miss. So, the warning exists. It is just built to be ignored. So, why does a little extra ethanol matter this much? Here is where it gets interesting. Ethanol does something gasoline does not. It pulls water straight out of the air. The more ethanol in the blend, the more water it drinks. And your mower does not run every day. It sits in a shed between weekends, sometimes for a whole season. While it sits, the fuel in the tank is quietly absorbing moisture. Do that long enough, and something ugly happens. The water and the ethanol get heavy, drop out of the gasoline, and sink to the bottom of the tank in a separate milky layer. That layer will not burn, it corrodes metal. And it is sitting right where your engine pulls its fuel from. That is called phase separation, and it is the thing that turns a tank of cheap gas into a repair bill. But here is the honest version, because I am not going to feed you junk science. This takes time. It is a storage problem, not a one-tank problem. The danger builds while the equipment sleeps. And if you have ever pulled a mower out in spring and it just would not start, no matter how many times you yanked the cord, drop a comment and tell me. Because I would bet money the fuel was the reason. I will be in there reading them. But water is only half the story. There is a second way this fuel does damage, and it is the one almost nobody explains correctly. You have probably heard someone say ethanol burns hotter. That is wrong. and the fact checkers are right to call it out. So let me give you the version that actually holds up. Ethanol carries its own oxygen. When you add more of it, the engine runs leaner, meaning less fuel and more air. A modern car has sensors that correct for this on the fly. But your mower, your chainsaw, your generator, those run a fixed jet and no sensors. They cannot adjust. So they run leaner than they were ever tuned to run. And a leaner mixture means higher temperatures inside the engine. Over time, that extra heat punishes the valves and the parts that were never built for it. That is not me guessing. That is straight out of the federal lab testing. And the heat is not even the part that strands most people. It is the gum. As ethanol-blended fuel sits and the light parts evaporate off, what is left turns into a sticky varnish. It coats the inside of the carburetor and clogs passages thinner than a human hair. That is the #1 reason small engines land on a repair bench. On top of that, ethanol is a solvent. It eats older rubber fuel lines, primer bulbs, and the little seals inside the carburetor. And the higher the blend, the harder it chews. The line goes brittle. The bulb cracks. The seals dissolve into the fuel and clog the jets they were supposed to feed. And now you have a chain reaction, all from the cheapest handle on the island. And if you think the lab numbers are exaggerated, here is the receipt. The Federal Renewable Energy Lab ran a marine engine on this higher blend for 300 hours straight. It failed 3 exhaust valves before the test was even done. The matching engine on clean fuel finished without a single problem. Now I will be fair, because the people who defend this fuel will point it out anyway. That test ran 1 engine per fuel, so it is evidence, not a courtroom verdict. But the same lab ran almost 30 small engines on higher ethanol blends and watched them run hotter and rougher, with handheld trimmers actually surging and engaging on their own. So this is not folklore off a forum. It is documented in a government report that most people will never open. But the small engine repair shops have known it for years. Ask any of them what kills the most carburetors, and they will say the same thing without hesitating. Bad fuel that sat too long. So here is the never list. The equipment you should never put this fuel into. Every gas mower, walk behind or riding. Every chainsaw, trimmer, and leaf blower. Every portable and standby generator, which matters most in a storm. Pressure washers, snow blowers, tillers, every boat motor, every motorcycle, every four-wheeler, no matter the year, and any car or truck built before 2001. If it has a small engine or an older engine, it is on the list, and the makers themselves draw the exact same line. The big small engine builders all cap their fuel at 10% ethanol, and they say in writing that running anything higher voids your warranty. One of the largest just updated its policy for this year to spell out the precise blends that will get your claim denied. So if it breaks on this fuel, you are the one paying for it, not them. And look, if this is the kind of thing you want someone to catch before it costs you, that is the entire reason this channel exists. We dig into the stuff the store associate will not say out loud. Subscribe and you will not miss the next one. Now back to the fix I promised, because we are almost there. First, how to never get caught by this again. It takes 5 seconds. When you walk up to the pump, do not read the price. Read the name. If the handle says 88, Unleaded 88, or E15, that is the one to skip for anything in your shed. 87 regular is your safe everyday fuel. And there is one more trap. Some stations run all of their blends through a single hose. That means up to 1/3 of a gallon of the last blend is still sitting in that hose when you start pumping. So if the guy before you bought 88, the first part of your fill is his leftover ethanol. The rule that exists to deal with that is a 4-gallon minimum on those shared hoses. But a mower can, a chainsaw, a motorcycle tank, those hold less than 4 gallons. So you cannot dilute it back out. The safest move is to find a station with a dedicated regular hose and to check your owner's manual once, where it will tell you the exact blend your engine is rated for. Now I want to be straight with you, because you will see this in the comments. The ethanol industry will tell you this fuel is the most tested in history. and that billions of miles have been driven on it with no problems. And for modern cars, they are basically right. This was never about your daily driver. But notice what even the defenders do not say. They never claim it is safe for your mower, your boat, or your saw. They cannot, because the law and the warranties already say the opposite. So the real danger was never that ethanol is some kind of poison. The danger is putting the cheap high ethanol blend into the one machine that was never built to handle it. That is the whole trap in a single sentence. So here is the protection move I promised, and it is simpler than the problem. But stay with me 30 more seconds after it, because there is one early warning sign your equipment gives you before it dies, and if you learn to catch it, you save the entire repair. I will get to that. The fix has 3 layers. Layer 1, for anything that sits, your chainsaw, your trimmer, your generator, your snowblower, buy the canned pre-mixed fuel made for small engines. It has 0 ethanol and a shelf life measured in years. Yes, it costs more per can, but it is a fraction of the price of a new carburetor, and it is the closest thing to insurance you can pour into a tank. Layer 2. For everything else, run regular 87, and if you can find it, hunt down ethanol-free gas. It is getting harder to find these days, but there is a free locator online that maps every station near you that still sells the pure stuff. Add a fuel stabilizer to the tank, the kind built for ethanol and moisture, and it buys you months of safe storage instead of weeks. Layer 3, and this is the one most people skip. If the machine is going to sit for more than a month, shut off the fuel valve and let it run until it dies. An empty carburetor cannot gum up, and dry fuel lines cannot rot. That is it. That is the whole secret the pump will never tell you. And now the warning sign, like I promised. Before any of this fully fails, your engine tells you first. The earliest symptom is almost always hard starting, the kind where it catches and dies. Then a rough hunting idle, like it cannot hold steady. Then it only runs with the choke on. That is your engine breathing through a clogged carburetor and begging you to act. Most people ignore those signs right up until the generator will not start in a blackout, or the mower quits in the middle of the lawn. But you will not, because now you know exactly what those symptoms mean, and you know what to do long before it leaves you stranded. So here is everything in one breath. The cheapest gas at the pump is now a high ethanol blend that is illegal and damaging in nearly everything you keep in your shed, and the only warning is a sticker built to be missed. You know how to spot it now. You know what it does, you know which machines it threatens, and you know the 3-layer move that stops it cold. The people selling it counted on you never connecting those dots. You just did. The next time you are at the pump with the cheap handle in your hand, you will know exactly what that lower price is really asking you to pay. The one on your screen is the video YouTube thinks you'll like, so click it. And if you made it to the end, subscribe,